welcome to the RISE PECOWorld platform. We also have another roundtable. Ma'am is a part of that roundtable as a co-host, which is a citizenship, informed citizenship. So I'll request everyone out there, please join in the evening, which is at 6 o'clock. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's always interesting to try and do something different. It's also a little challenging because when you're in a space with people here, the space gets created for the people here. And on a topic like this, it's important to make sure that the people in front of you are engaged. But it's equally important that people who've joined online are also engaged. And therefore, let's take this session through. I request the people who are online to please, put in their questions or their comments, in the chat box. And the way we will do this session is a little bit of opening discussion, and then some few minutes where I'd like to just explain some ideas around the topic that we are doing right now. And then we will open up the space for discussions. So we'll try and do it. I'm also learning in this process to make sure everybody is engaged. As a facilitator, that's my primary aim. So let's take it how it goes now. And I've got really a lovely group of people here. We are about, how many of us are here? 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. 15 people, which is great. That's really a lovely set circle that one can have. And they're essentially people from our team, but many of whom have joined recently. So it's a great opportunity, therefore, to talk about the call of the Constitution with largely young people here, and also with the people who have joined online. Okay, so shall we start? Yeah, I'm just going to make the start now. Okay, so as I said, I'm distributing it into 3 major parts. One is where we'll start having an opening discussion, and then we will have a little bit of an explanation of how we the people has been thinking about the Constitution and preamble for some time. And third, we will have a wider discussion. So I'm going to keep a watch on the time as well. But let's make the most of it, and I'd like us to have as many questions as possible. Also to introduce to you that We the People Abhiyan is an organization that started its work in 2010, 2011. As an organization that was devoted to helping citizens understand their own power and recognizing that that power really comes from the Constitution of India. So we have spent many years now trying to help citizens understand the document, which is the Constitution of India, as a document of power, and use the frameworks that it gives us to the various issues that they face in their everyday life. So we've of course registered in 2017, but our activities started much earlier than that. So this is what we are going to do today, something which we started with. When We the People have done sort of came together as a bit of a movement, we realized that there was one page that we could take to it. And that one page is here. It's the first page of the Constitution of India. We felt itni badi kitab, such a big book, how do we really even start conversations around it? It was a bit like evangelizing this document. So, all evangelists will tell you it's easier to take a symbol or a word or a set of words and then build conversations around, right? So this space, we had called it Citizen Cafe. And we did about, I think, I mean, I'm sure we've done more than 2,000 of these cafes. Should have kept the number. But so welcome to the Citizen Cafe. Right? Okay, so I've said this thing about this one page, etc. But you have seen it. You've seen this one page before. It's part of the the textbooks you've had in school. Um, what has this one page? Has it been part of your consciousness? Has there been any point in your life where you have looked at it and thought anything about it? कोई क्या thought आता है जब you have seen this one, not just now, but in the past. People online can also write in what is the thought that comes to you or came to you when you first looked at this one page.
What is this?
What is this? Okay. So what is it? What did it mean to you? You were curious.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So some curiosity. All right. What else? Anybody else? Have you seen this before? You have seen this before. What else came to your mind? Huh?
It looks like a summary of the computer.
It looks like a summary of the notes. Okay. All right.
Why is it needed? How is it needed?
Okay. Right. So it's sort of occurred to you what is the reason why even this is there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Actually, sort of going back to the first time you saw it, or the first few times you saw it, did it strike you as anything? What thought came up? Anything like that?
एक हमारी सारी NCERT की जो units थी,
हाँ.
it was page पे है.
हाँ.
But they had ये क्यों है?
ये क्यों है?
हमारे group में नहीं है.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good question. Because social science book में भी है, mathematics book में भी है. So what is this one page and why is it there? Okay, that was a good questioning. So why was it there? I don't know. At one time when we met, he was at that time the deputy CEO, Manish Sisodia, and I don't know. He seemed to say that was something that they sort of suggested, and it happened. I'm not sure whether that was actually true. I haven't checked it. But I think that it was an important step to put that in every text. But all of you are still wondering why it was there. So why was it there? Why do you think it was there? So if anybody is joining from out of India, if we have any international joinees, we have textbooks with the first page of the Constitution in each textbook. So it's literally the first page of each textbook that is used in school. So that's what we are discussing about. Yeah. So why was it there in every text? What do you think?
So, I thought because it's there in every textbook. So I thought it must be something very important and something related to the nation.
Yeah.
Because of all the words that were written. And then after reading all the words, it gave me a sort of sense of unity that it had something to do with the unity and finding this also. I thought that's why it's there. Something important.
That's so lovely. So it really gave you a feeling.
Yes.
Right? And there's an intellectual stuff to it. Of course, it's important. But you felt like you were part of something, that was something that's united. That's interesting. Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it was my school life is the foundation for living a life for every child.
Yeah.
And considering those NCERT books we read for with elementary grades.
Yeah.
So maybe to just introduce the students to what a nation is and how on principles that a nation, the principles that a nation follows, and what is the larger book that guides the nation itself.
Yes.
So that is why it is
Yeah.
SBA style. This is what I think already.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that is, if you look at the way in which citizenship education is taught around the world and taught in democracies, it's really that very early on in schools itself, if people could maybe not understand it, but could have it as an artifact that's part of our lives in some way, you know. So much of culture is about artifacts, you know. Your mom's binti is an artifact. You look at it. You perhaps don't even know what it is, but there is something. This thing. There are many artifacts like that, and the nation has many such artifacts that sort of define suddenly. How old were you when you first saw it and had this feeling?
Third, fourth class.
Third, fourth, it has nothing to do with all these words. And I would always encourage people to not think of them as words to, define. But what is that feeling? And I think it's this, creating those artifacts where people may feel, this is one panna kuch to hai, jahan pe I'm feeling part of something and it unites us in some way. So third, fourth grader sees it like that. Of course, you're a very intelligent third, fourth person and very aware, but no, it's not just about that. It's about how you can interpret things in that way. Okay, anybody else wants to share? What is it that how did you experience it, or anybody wants to share about the first rounds?
I mean, you get the constitution. I did not have this contact and it wasn't true.
Sure.
But the first word of the constitution starts with B, and it's gives the sense of organization. It unites us all. Like regardless of the identity of the coming from, the religious identity, cultural identity. It just treats people equally, and it starts with such a uniting.
Yes. That's a very important observation, that the unity, or what you say, is actually even just the first three words, the four words. Be the people of India. That's where it sort of gives you a feeling that there's this we, right? And a young person looking at it, it's this is me in this we somewhere, right? Okay. Anybody else feels like saying it?
So I also feel, because I have not read the preamble in my text and than the others. So
Or perhaps you didn't read at all.
You be NCR.
It was in NCR.
so it was not there. But when I read it, then I found it very close to my life also, because you can pick the things which are connected to your life.
Right.
Because I was thinking of liberty, I was thinking of justice when I was thinking of social justice. And this is the thing I've been seeking for a long time.
Right.
And that's where I was able to connect the preamble with the life. So I think this is not just the gist of the constitution. This is the mirror of our life. Because you can pick the things what you want.
That's interesting. That's very, very. When did you get this insight? How old were you when it sort of came to you?
Okay. So I was working with the organization for the labor rights.
Yeah, share a little
And,
so everyone can also see how that came to.
So when we were just struggling, we were staging the protest for the labor rights to be sure. Then we were talking about the liberty. We were talking about the dignity. Because dignity was the thing which was not being given to the liberals. And then somebody introduced me with the preamble, and then it is the right which is given in the constitution also.
Right.
Then dignity was the thing what I was fighting for, but for me, then I found, oh my God, social justice is also there. So it connected me that.
Right. Thank you for that sharing. Is it really gives us a view of how you can experience something like that given the reality of it, you know. And yes, a third, fourth grader will just experience it as a feeling. A little older, as you are in some struggle that you were, and it could be a struggle related to your work, but it could be a struggle related to your personal life, right? And suddenly, there's a word there which is the aspiration of your life, right? And so that connection is made. So it's really also an artifact which connects us with that particular value in our life and what it means to us. So it's a bit like that as well. But thank you for that sharing.
So बहुत छोटे में देखा था पहली बार, and I think we the people of India के बाद के जो words से कुछ समझ नहीं आया. Solemnly क्या होता है? बोल भी नहीं पाती solemnly. I think उसके बाद बहुत नीचे जाके equality थोड़ा सा समझ में आया कि हाँ ये समझ में आया. उसके अलावा कुछ समझ नहीं. So we the people of India is all I understood. Then I saw it for like first few years. और हमारी जो स्कूल में प्लेज होती थी ना, वो भी वी द पीपल, हम भारत में लोग सब भाई बहन हैं, ऐसे होता था. इतना कुछ प्लेज टाइप, इतना स्वीट टाइप.
I don't know how many of you have that pledge. And how many of you have said at that time, except Bharat? All Indian sisters, except Bharat. You know, but of course now they're only plural now. You know, because of course there's not only one. Okay, yeah. But I think this "We the People of India" was a masterstroke. It was inspired by the US Constitution. Yeah. Also, the preamble there starts with "We the People of America," and it's really something that can help you sort of, really resonates. I think "We the People," picking it up from there, that was one. But just to give you a background, there were many other options of how you could have started the prayer. Little background, the idea of having a statement of purpose, so to speak, before people started writing the Constitution, happened with Jawaharlal Nehru giving a aims and objectives kind of a speech, right? Like it was a resolution. But it was a speech really, it was a resolution for the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly made up of, nearly 400 later on. I'm just giving you back, ballpark figures, but it was 389 when he must have made that speech. And then later on, some numbers were reduced. But the point is that that speech was a speech for the Constituent Assembly members to give them a statement of purpose as to why this constitution was being made. It was almost like that. And then towards the end, almost when, so 1946 is when the first, December 10th, I would say 10th or 9th. The first day of the Constituent Assembly, I remember it as 10th, but it could be 9th of December 1946. This kind of start of the Constituent Assembly was made, and it was nearly after 3 years that the Constitution was almost completed, and then the idea of the preamble was put forward, that we will now create the text of the preamble. So some of what Jawaharlal Nehru had also given as basic principles for the Constituent Assembly also came into this, but many more discussions were had. One of those discussions was how should it start? So there was options like in the name of God. It could easily be now. You are starting something in terms of like an almost like an oath, right? If this is our, this is kind of a vision, and it creates this constitution, which is how the country will be. So can you have it? So a lot of feelings and also frameworks, right? So if you wanted to start, how do you start? And so there was one somebody who said, let it be in the name of God. And then somebody said, what about goddess? We are just argumentative. I think we are just very argumentative. God, in the name of God. No, we have to have goddess. So, yeah. Then somebody said, but of course, God, goddess, but what about those who don't believe in God and goddess? Will this not be for them? Right? So, very interesting conversations happened around how to even start this. But finally, it was agreed that it would be media. There was also an idea that, whether Gandhi's name should be in this. Right? There was an idea as to whether it is actually an oath taken by me from the Constituent Assembly. So many other options existed, but this is what we started with. And to me, this is a masterstroke because we, the people of India, is at once a framework and a feeling. Right? Because it gives you that there is people, there is a map, like a geographical boundary, which is India. There is people in that boundary that defines a nation. So it gives you a framework of who this applies to. And then it gives you a feeling, the feeling that Surabhi was responding to, a feeling that, even Neha didn't want to think of other words, but this was the feeling. Right? So I would ask all of us here, and of course those who are joining online, to think of this one page, which is almost the first page of our Constitution, as a feeling and a frame. If we think of it as that, then we will be able to actually look at what it is calling us to do. Okay? Yeah. So, any other, like for instance, Praveen, you saw social justice. Oh, wow. Now I'm taking this and going and talking about labor rights, or you said that, with dignity. Dignity was the word that. Are there any words over here? And I'd like people who haven't spoken. Are there any words in this particular page that interest you more than other words, that attract you more than other words? Yeah, Rahul hasn't spoken. Yeah. So, voices. Oh. Is this on? This is on. Okay. Fine. Is this okay? No. So if there is one, just call. Sure. Yeah, Rahul. Acha.
I come from the community. The whole show, what machines in time. Past experience
Right. Okay. That's good. Any others? Yes.
One thing that I just thinking about Idobro is that nobody's telling you, nobody's asking you. Please meet the person.
Right. So which word signifies that feeling for you from your, if you were to pick that word which gives you this feeling that nobody's telling me to do it, this is for me, for myself. Is there any particular word that move it around?
You know, it's a bucket. It's it starts with legally. So
Yeah.
I tell you ourselves.
Yeah.
So that it's not.
Yeah.
It's not even it's not even the government.
Yeah.
It's not even the
Yeah.
parliament goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the people
When you talk about health justice,
Great. Anybody else? Katrina, which word attracts you? Okay, exactly.
जब न्याय हो
Makes you feel happy. Okay, that's good. ठीक है. हाँ, संजना. Secularism. All right. Okay.
Vinita ma'am,
Yeah.
someone from the audience has raised their hands. I guess Dhanushree.
Yes, Dhanashree, would you like to unmute and say?
Yes, hello everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vinita ma'am. So, uh, for me, I believe justice attracts me because जब हम न्याय की भाषा करते हैं, तब
हाँ.
हम समानता की भाषा करते हैं. हम
Okay.
और समान होने के दिशा में हमारा एक प्रयत्न होता है, प्रयास होता है. जब न्याय की भाषा होती है, नो, we try to make it more inclusive in nature, you know, and सबको एक साथ लाने में वो एक प्रयास होता है. और खास करके जब हम ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के तौर पे देखेंगे, व्हेन इट कम्स टू जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, दर्जा है, स्टेटस है, इसकी जो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलनी चाहिए या पहल करता है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तो जब हम जस्टिस को देख पाते हैं तो समवेयर वी आर ट्राइंग टू गेट दैट इक्विटी, नो, एंड hence I feel justice is so important for
Yes.
us, जो पहल करेगा समानता के लिए. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you Dhanush. Very much. Thank you. Somebody else was making a point. You were making a point?
For me, justice.
Oh, justice seems a very...
For me, it's evaluation. It's a sort of a freedom. Nobody here creative and personalized. At least be able to decide.
Okay. Right. Okay. What about you?
For me, it's equality.
Equality. Okay. Okay. Right.
For me, it's better like the feeling that's because what we hear about customers.
Right.
Have that thing. So the feeling of brotherhood, fraternity is good.
Right. That's the one that attracts you.
For me, it is good.
Liberty.
Expressing thoughts and doing something which we really want.
Right. 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 But you want to say something?
For me, it's so.
Oh, okay. All right.
I take our decision.
You can take our decision. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's good. So I think that, you know, if you say sovereign and you say it is that you take your decision,
Honestly,
what's the feeling?
looking at it like that's it.
We are not depending. What is it we are going to depend on other country? What is that we are going to
Sure, that's the definition. What's the feeling?
It's like, feeling like अपने फैसले खुद ले सकते हैं.
अपने फैसले खुद ले सकते हो. तो वो फीलिंग क्या है? वो कहाँ, कौन सा वैल्यू है या कौन सा वो ह्यूमन वैल्यू है जिससे यू फील मैं अपने फैसले खुद ले सकती
तो कहीं भी जा सकते हैं.
हाँ. हाँ.
पढ़ सकते हैं, पढ़ना है नहीं पढ़ना है, जॉब करना है नहीं.
पर वो कौन सा एक फीलिंग है जिससे आप ये सब कुछ कर सकते? What is it that you have that you can do all this? Pick a word from here. ऐसी क्या चीज है? ऐसी क्या जिसके वजह से आपको ये सारी चीजें जो आप करना चाहते हैं आप कर सकते? क्या?
You want to make an appointment.
What's the feeling?
Well,
It's so difficult sometimes to just come to the feeling.
now
Right?
where are you going?
Feeling क्या है? What's the feeling?
Waiting for the tree cutters.
कर सकते हो.
And they said they're coming at 9.
Happiness.
Okay.
Okay. Happiness coming from freedom. Right? So one of the
How much
things
have we
that I
settled
think
for?
this also makes you do is, what is it that in the moment you feel, right? What is it helping you feel? Right? Justice तो ठीक है, okay, but पहली तो बात ये है कि आप ये सब नहीं कर सकते थे if you know, like we said, that feeling that I'm free and sovereign. Actually, this definition is that you will not be dependent on any other country. That's right. But why? Because you're free. Free. Have you ever felt that feeling? Right? It must have been the feeling when people ran on the roads or in 1947 and said, we are free. Right? So this is the feeling. It's capturing the feeling that we all are free. हम आजाद है और एक आजाद देश ही सॉवरेन देश बन सकता है, राइट? मतलब आप कैसे बोलोगे कि I'm not dependent on my parents, but you know what, I'm still sort of what money comes from them? Pocket money. Okay. What they say, I'm talking about after you become an adult, I'm saying. But ये मत बोलना कि बच्चों को revolution करने बता दिया. But what I'm saying is, then you say that, okay, decision, what they say, I will do. That also doesn't indicate really free. Okay? I don't mean to say you shouldn't do what they're saying, but it's a negotiation that is it. Even when you talk about sovereign, it's not that now India will run rogue and say, hum wo hi karenge jo hamare man mein kar. No, it's not like that. We are governed by many different human principles that apply to the entire world, right? But these are negotiated by India as a free country, right? So let's get into the depth of understanding that word and not just what the civics teacher told you, sovereign matlab we are now able to take up. What is that meaning? What does that mean? Now I'm in a position to negotiate. You are now in a position to negotiate with your parents, with your teachers, with your peers. That is freedom. It's not absolute in any case, right? But it's negotiated and I will negotiate. That's the freedom, right? Okay. So, any points on this? Or anybody else wants to say any other word that really absolutely jumps at them? Equality. Equality is very important. All right. Okay. Yeah. No, you can ask now and then I'll talk. Yeah.
Economically, they are very dependent on some labor is just like telling you that you cannot buy some from some other country, and they are obliged to these parcels which are around. You change here that you cannot buy oil from the lab, and our country is not buying oil from the lab. Like all of this because or can be. Why do you like that's South
because you will always be in a whole world of negotiated settlements and treatments. There will be points. It doesn't mean that, first of all, sovereign doesn't mean you're operating in isolation. Okay? It means you're free. It means you're free to take decisions. You could take a decision that could say, go to hell ground. It could be that, right? You are free to take that decision. It will have consequences. You have to see what the consequences will be. In today's world climate, you are dealing with lots of different nations, right? And you will take decisions based on what might be the best for your country. What I'm only trying to point out is you're doing it as a free country. You can decide to say, okay, no, हमको इस law के साथ जाना है, उसके साथ जाना है, उसके consequences होंगे. Even what decision we have taken has its consequences. But we are taking the decision and bearing the consequences. This is what it means. Right? So, we may agree with what has been done and not done. That's something that we can debate. But the point is, we've taken that decision as a free nation. And different nations will take their own decisions based on what's best for us. That's what. Okay? Yeah.
And maybe that is the matter of the perspective also, because we are thinking that that we compromise, but the people who are representing the nation, they think that they have taken the decision in the interest of nation. So that is the matter of the perception also. What we think, what they.
Yeah, but as a matter of principle, okay, it is that you are a free nation. You will have many decisions that are like, we are part of so many pacts of the United Nations, right? There are negotiations in that. Some of them we've not agreed, some of them we've agreed. Some conventions we've signed, some conventions we've not signed. This is all happening in real time. What this is telling you is what is the principle. And I'll say right now, every principle that we talk about over here has been compromised at some time or the other, or we are certainly not there. It's always a negotiation, and this negotiation will continue. Today, when you talk about equality, you're talking about equality, of many such sexual orientations. At the time we got independence, maybe that thought was not there. So the equality is a principle. In different times, now we are in 2026. When you come to 76, equality principle stays, the reality will be different. Are you getting that? Yeah. So essentially, therefore, if this is what we are saying, what is this document? What is the use of this document? That first question that's going to be you raised. What is the use of this one page? क्या करता है ये हमारे लिए? What do you see it as? Guiding principle, okay. Guide, right? Yeah. Yeah. So we look at it as a guide and a guiding principle. It is not a statement of arrival. We have arrived. No, not really. Yeah. There are many interpretations of the way it is, and we will work towards it. There is a principle which guides us, and we will be walking in that direction. So you have to look at it that way and evaluate. Yeah, in 2026, are my freedoms better than before? Are they worse than before? That you can do. But are you completely, in the real sense, in a sense, freedom has been achieved for all times? No. Maybe electoral freedoms are still not achieved fully. Maybe we still have to think that children of 14 also should vote. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there for you. Are you with me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So, looking at it as a guiding principle, right? As a one kind of a sort of a page which guides us.
I think it also sets the, and one word is coming
Yeah.
as aspiration.
Aspirations.
Some sort of dream or
Yeah.
how it can be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always look at this document with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. ऐसा बनना है हमें,
हाँ.
हमें बनना चाहिए.
Yeah.
And we are going to be starting that.
So, we are solemnly resolving that we are a nation that will have this. Right? So, I'm taking the word from you that it's a vision. A dream sounds a little dreamy, but because it's down on paper, we can actually put it out as a vision. ऐसा ऐसा देश बनाएंगे, ऐसा देश हमारा बनेगा, ऐसा नेशन, ऐसे लोग हम होंगे, ऐसी सोसाइटी हमारी होगी जो then evolve होगी, but on what we just said,
We'll work on these licenses.
on these principles. So it's really the vision, and you can call it the principles on the basis of which that vision will actually be actualized. It will come to us. These principles are also called sometimes values. You know, essential tenets, yeah, principles or values, by the way, of which a nation will. It's a little bit of a mixture of that. We'll come to that in a bit. Okay, so having understood it that way, is everybody with me? Yeah. So it's a vision document, a values document, basically, on how this nation will work, nation, and which includes its people, basically. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Any, I just want to check in with with our group online. Anything you want to say, any comment, or anything you want to add, contribute here at this stage, or we should move on? Quick comments, Anne? Right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's now then just look at the page itself, right? We know it's a vision document. We know there are essential values there on the basis of which that vision will be just get Aadhaar pay. The vision is on Aadhaar, well, it takes the base of these values. We've understood that. So will somebody actually read this out? Now sometimes it's somebody, like it's in the room and we've spoken all about it, but we actually haven't recognized it, right? So would anybody like to speak it aloud? Would you like to do that? Great. So,
we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constitution, Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, we will hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's just understand a little bit of the structure of the way in which it is written now. Okay, please remember the preamble came together after the Constitution was made. It was almost in the final days of the Constituent Assembly that the preamble was put together. There were, I think, nearly 3 days of debate on this, and फिर वो properly construct किया गया था. So think about it. It was a lot of time to be taken to even construct this one page, right? Yeah. बहुत मेहनत की हुई है काफी. Yeah. Okay.
And something that still is so relevant and so like on point.
Yeah. I think when you have very different 300 very different people debating, it takes time, but usually you would have covered the ground for everything. You know, in the name of God, God is. No, what about atheists? What about this? What about, okay, let's just look at, right? Sometimes it's like that. So yeah, debate is, and the freedom to debate is an essential principle, which even the Constituent Assembly used while making the Constitution. Okay, so let's look at the structure. So it, just to say, we are saying, we the people of India, you know, and Ashwini just talked about, we the people of India is there, right? And then in the last line saying, give to ourselves this constitution. So what is it reading like? What does it remind you of? We the people of India give to ourselves this constitution. जब हम ऐसा बोलते हैं, what is it reminding you of?
We have made this for ourselves.
Right. But what does it read like? When you
it represents us.
it represents
And
us.
it also gives the sense of ownership and responsibility also.
Right.
Each of us is responsible for planting the nation building.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Right.
And you're giving it to
And you're giving it to yourselves. Right. That's right. So when you say I'm giving it to myself, it's reads then as what you know Neha was saying was a solemn whatever. Yeah. But it's a solemn resolution. Resolving means I am making a resolution, a decision. Give me a Hindi word for resolution. Sankalp. What a lovely word, right? Sankalp. And it is a solemn resolution. चलो आज संकल्प लेते हैं हम ये खाएं. No, it's not a sankalp.
not like a New Year's resolution.
Not like not like a New Year resolution. Okay. It's a very serious minded, बहुत सोच समझकर संकल्प हमने लिया. That is why it is right at the beginning a solemn resolution. Okay?
It's a promise.
It's a promise and a seriously thought out promise. And it's a promise you're going to have forever and ever and ever. Because a nation is expected to live forever and ever and ever. We are just
The word of it is very nice.
Drid Sankalp.
The heaviness of it
Yeah.
makes it be like भारी काम करना है.
Okay. So first of all, let's understand that nation building is not a frivolous affair. Okay? It's not like, okay, now I'm born here. Great, lovely. You know, so you're, this is me. And this is where I will be. Right? And that's all that matters. No. You are here. And now you will be given a few things to lead your life. All right? And you will have to think of how you are contributing to this whole thing. Because you make up that we. And you will be doing it with a serious-minded purpose. Right? Nobody tells us this. In third grade, thankfully you were left with, oh, what a nice feeling. And that's very important. But as you grow on, I think we were omitted this clear understanding and expectation that you are here, there's a deal, you have a number of things that you live with, and you will also contribute. Freedom is both a feeling, but it's also a feeling of responsibility. Remember Spider-Man? I mean, remember Spider-Man or no? Movie. But Spider-Man had this one great line, na? What's that line? With great power comes great responsibility. So with great freedom also comes the responsibility that you will respect other people's freedoms. Right? So it's like that. Yeah? So now I think I am here to tell you this. Wake up. It's going to be hard work. And it's a solemn resolve. Okay? Now there are essentially three resolutions here. Right? The way it's structured, there are three resolutions. Can anybody tell me what are the resolutions? This cannot be old team members of We the People Abhiyan. Okay? Newer members. Okay? What are the three resolutions? I'm giving you a clue, it's three resolutions. So We the People of India, having solemnly resolved, is what it says. And then there are three resolutions. Even the people online, if you can just write on the chat box, what do you think are the 3 resolutions? Where do you start? What do they look? Come on, Katrina. Give us one. सोच रहे हो? Okay, सोचो. बोलो.
लेकिन वो सेक्युलर हो सकता है कि हमने जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बना था तो
Okay, it's not that. Secular is there, but it's part of a bigger resolution. So what I'm asking from you is, what are the 3 lines in this which give you an indication that there are 3 things that are meant to be done. 3 resolutions.
The first resolution is about the nation.
So give me that line. Which one?
In India and plus sovereign socialist sector.
To constitute India.
Yeah.
And say more. What did you say? It's about
the nation itself.
It's about what the nation will. What are the features of this nation? Okay. What will it look like? Uska ढांचा क्या? Uska framework क्या? So you're absolutely right. Here it is. The first resolution is to constitute India. I'm giving it a structure. We are giving it a structure. The structure is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. That's the structure. And very rightly, this is what the nation. What did you say? The features of the nation. Yeah. No, you use another word.
And then it is the resolution about the nation itself.
Yeah.
And then is the second resolution which is about the citizens.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Which next in the justice liberty.
Okay. The second resolution is to secure to all its citizens. There is a guarantee, a security given. And that security is of justice, liberty, and equality. Now, third resolution you will not see. Okay, let somebody else. Because you've given us 2 resolutions. Third,
asserting the dignity of the individual outside the nation.
yeah, but give me the word which signifies what that resolution is. So the first resolution is to constitute India into this kind of a framework or structure. The second is to secure to all its citizens justice, liberty, and equality. There's a third phrase. Can anybody tell me?
Is it that adopting do hereby adopted?
No. No. This is part of the overall resolution. We, the people of India, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. But हम क्या दे रहे हैं हमको अपने आप को? उसका third part है. हाँ. Yeah. That of course is the overall this. Can anybody tell?
Remove on fraternity.
Oh. I'll have to give you 3 suits. Yeah, that's all. The three parts of this overall resolution. The overall resolution is we, the people of India, hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this constitution. That's the overall resolution. But in this overall resolution, what are the 3 things that I'm resolving? First, कि हम एक ऐसा nation बनाएंगे जो sovereign होगा, right? जो socialist होगा, secular, democratic republic. Okay? In this nation that is like this, we will secure to all citizens. Secure means a guarantee. Okay? We will secure to all citizens justice, liberty, and equality. As something that we all will have as rights to live in. Okay? And then it has, again, solemnly resolved to promote among them all. Them matlab who? Amongst all citizens. Fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. This actions are part of the overall resolution. Constitute, secure, and promote. Yes. Yes. And the action. Yeah. These are all action words. Resolution के बाद meditate नहीं करना. मेडिटेट कर सकते हो बीच बीच में, because मेडिटेट करके और एक्शन अच्छा होगा. But these are the solemn resolve is the meditative. I am taking all of it in my spirit and solemnly resolve. Okay. Next time the road outside your house, if it is broken, take a deep breath. Solemnly resolve. But then put an application and a complaint to MCD. It is like that. Okay? Pehle, or PWD, depending on that road. Okay? So it's a resolution which is a thoughtful resolution, but along with it, there are actions. So absolutely rightly said, Ashwini, to constitute is an action word. हम ऐसे इसको बनाएंगे, इसका स्ट्रक्चर बनाएंगे जो ऐसा होगा. Then to secure, मतलब I will secure, the nation will secure, we will secure, we the people of India will secure to each other. This. And lastly, here is to promote. Are you seeing this? Yeah. And why didn't we just say secure to all its citizens, all these 4 values? But why is fraternity written as to promote? Why? Can somebody tell me why did we use to promote rather than to secure? I'm also thinking, I'm not sitting with the 300 people saying what are you doing? But why do you think it is written as to promote amongst all? Because
it's also a feeling of brotherhood system.
Yeah.
Feeling of unity, oneness.
Yeah.
Okay. Because of the cultural.
Yeah. Promote. Yeah. Because it cannot be a guarantee. These are guarantees that the state will make. We the people through the state will make guarantees that we will have a just, free and equal life. That all provisions, here's the structure coming in. All the frameworks will be such that we will guarantee these, that all lives in this country, all people in this country are guaranteed a just, free and equal life. Right? But fraternity is a feeling. I cannot say to you, isko pyar kar. I nahi karega to jail jaye. Cannot do that. Right? It has to be a feeling that we the people of India must have this feeling that they will promote amongst them all fraternity, where individual's dignity is respected. You may disagree, but you will respectfully disagree. Right? And you are going to disagree, because imagine this is we the people of India. It is people from all spectrums. Right? It's people who are absolute believers in religion. To the other side, absolute, completely, will be either atheists or, just think that God is a bad word. Right? Yeah. So there are all those. And they are also we, the people of India. Yeah, you don't like them, let's say, each other, but they are still. And they will use the Constitution of India to promote their thoughts. That's what we have to be ready for. And amongst this also, when somebody is saying that, God is a bad word, can I still assure the dignity of that individual, even if you are a very firm believer of God? And vice versa. right? So that is really where the crux comes in, that every individual dignity is important, and thereby the unity and integrity. It's this kind of use of language which brings in the different values. These are human values of justice, equality, liberty, and fraternity. How those values become the foundation of a particular society, we see, and a state that exists to be able to make sure that the values are right. So what is we the people of India? What are they supposed to do? What is the call of this constitution? What is it telling you, Sanjana?
I think अभी इसके बारे में
Just tell me. Don't think about what is it telling you. हमने जो अभी बताया, what is it telling you? You, Sanjana. Sanjana, one of the people of India. What is it telling you?
yeah and all the
Okay.
yeah and to promote this
Okay.
government and all.
It's telling you to do that. What will it mean in, like when we are going for lunch today, what will it mean to you?
Someone like
Yeah.
for example, we are but has a particular situation.
Ah,
But I'll still listen to that person.
Okay.
I still respect their
okay.
viewpoint.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's good. What else? What is it telling you? What is it telling you? We are sitting here just now. What is it telling you?
Every citizen individually or collectively making rights or rights equally just and equal.
What is it telling you? What is it telling you to do? You, Aruna, what is it telling you to do? Right now, you're sitting here, you're in this office. What is it telling you to do?
Respect.
Mutually respect. Okay, all right. So, not to disagree. You shouldn't disagree.
Good disagree.
Should disagree. Okay, you have the freedom to disagree.
Yes.
All right. What is it telling you?
Depending on my choice, respect.
All right. It depends on you whom to respect and whom not to respect. That's interesting. And those you don't respect, how are you going to treat them? You don't respect someone's opinion, and but you are interacting with them. What does it mean in terms of your behavior? What will you do with them? You will ignore them. Okay. That's a choice, which is also a respectful choice. Okay. There's another choice, which is to listen to them and then agree to disagree. Right? If we go with the first one, the chances are that half of this country will not ignore the other half of this country. Okay. And many other factions in this. So think about it, right? Those opinions you don't respect are still we the people of India. Right? And you know, can we have a way to still listen, even though we may not fully, we might think that their opinion is actually really wrong. Okay? So a lot of what this is asking you to do is to reflect on your own personal behavior and see how do you align your personal behavior to these values that are meant for us to live as a nation. If you were living as 3 people on an island, it is possible for you to ignore somebody else. No. Huh? it doesn't matter if you ignore somebody else, right? But if you are living in this nation with so many people and you're interdependent on them, it may be difficult for you to ignore. So, in a sense, that's. Okay, so I think that just this is important. Yeah, I think it's asking to opposite thing actually. To like how I visualize it, even though I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, but all the other justice, liberty, equality. So everybody has some liberty to express, but it is asking us to do absolutely opposite of ignoring, listening, or having a kind of dialogue with each other, creating a space where everybody can have just social justice, economic justice. Yeah. So yeah. I think it's coming from Anoop's also credible thinking, which is that I have the freedom to ignore somebody now. I mean, if I'm just not able to, I'm just saying that if the interesting part of the preamble or the constitution is that it tells you to fully take the space to be free. But what it then tells you is that the other person is also going to take that full space, should take that full space. That's the thing, that's the deal. And which means that if I want to take my full space, I will have to give that full space to someone else, which means technically I will have to respect them in that way. Now, that's why I said if in a large space and you had 3 people, you can say, उस कोने में तू बैठ जा, उस कोने में तू बैठ जा, और इस कोने में मैं बैठता हूँ, और मिलता ही नहीं है. It's possible in some space. But you are going to be in an office with 20 people. And as you know, our office is very small. You will definitely be bumping into people. And therefore, the question of my freedom, but somebody else's freedom becomes more. That's it. And we are the most populous nation in the world. Have we already become? Or yeah. Surpassed that. So we are the most populous nation. Right. Okay. So I think the call of the Constitution is where we wanted to come to. And this is what it says. But there are many questions that we have around what it's saying. So I just want to throw it a little open in terms of how does this make you feel? Are there questions that are rising? Is there something that you feel needs to be, should be changed actually? How does this make you feel? What are some clarifications you see? Some word that doesn't make sense to you, and some word you would say, "Isko to nikalo us word ko." Yeah.
These recent news, recent news government के इसके हिसाब से मुझे ऐसा फील होता है कि सेक्युलरिज्म फील होना बंद हो गया एज अ नेशन. तो मैं ये कोशिश करती हूँ कि ना ये मेरे अलावा तो सेक्युलर फील करता है सारी वो जो प्रैक्टिस कर रही हूँ वो विश्वास करते हैं नहीं करते उनके जो मतलब मैं उन्हें उसी तरीके से एज अ but जिस तरीके की न्यूज़ आ रही है, जिस तरीके का हमारा मतलब पर्सपेक्टिव बिल्डिंग का चेंज कर रहे हैं हम लोग. या सिर्फ हिंदू को चलेगा तो सिर्फ मुझे बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम और क्वेश्चन है कि या मतलब अगर लिखा है तो उसका सही मतलब लोग समझ पाए और अगर नहीं समझ पा रहे तो क्वेश्चन को कर सकते हैं.
I think what you आपने जो बोला है उसमें बहुत जरूरी है 2 चीजें समझ. और मैं बिल्कुल समझ रही हूँ आप जो बोल रहे हैं. If you're feeling it, that feeling itself has to be respect. You're feeling that people's freedom of belief, faith, and worship, right? that we are not giving adequate freedom to each other on. That is one thing that you're, that instead of thinking about all of us as people who live and worship differently, there is this thing about, you know, iska religion ye hai, they cannot practice this or they can practice this, and this is how you're feeling. Yes, that's certainly a feeling that we have to ask, how is it that we've come here? Right? Why is it that religion and freedom of religion is being compromised in some ways? By us only. I'm coming to a second part of your question a little later. But the first thing is, if we, the people of India, are supposed to secure liberty of thought and expression of everybody else, what are we doing? That's the question, right? In your day-to-day life, are you respecting somebody else's religion or not? And you're saying, wo kam ho gaya. This is what you're saying?
रिस्पेक्ट करना तो
Respect hona.
एक लेवल से भी ऊपर हेट्रेड हो गया है लोग मार रहे हैं मॉडल कर रहे हैं मुझे डर लगता है कि वो इतना ज्यादा सेंस है कि आप किसी पर्टिकुलर रिलीजन वाले एरिया में जाओगे तो ही तो आपके साथ मुझे मतलब जिस तरीके की करंट अफेयर्स चल रहे हैं तो कभी मतलब बेसिकली लिटरली मर्डर ही करते हैं तो आप मतलब बात भी नहीं करना डायलॉग भी नहीं करना टाइप का हेट्रेड कर देते हो फीलिंग ऑफ
But in this also, tell me, is there a point where you felt that as we the people of India, you were able to do something about it? It is true that this is what is happening. Do you feel a sense of power to do something about it? Is there something you have done about it?
Sense of situation of area.
हाँ.
आपको थोड़ा सा स्पेस मिलता है कि आप उससे बात कर पाओ डायलॉग कर पाओ कि वो क्या
आपको आपने ये स्पेस लिया है बताओ कैन यू टॉक अबाउट इट
मतलब फ्रीडम को एक एरिया है वहाँ पर मतलब वहाँ पर पर्टिकुलरली एरिया में जहाँ पर मुस्लिम लोग ही रहे अच्छा और ईद का नाइट चला था तो हर बार ईद में वहाँ पर ऐसी प्रैक्टिस होता है कि नमाज पढ़ने के लिए वो सब ऐसे भीड़ हो जाती है और उस दिन मतलब लोगों को मार के उठाया वो मतलब वो लोग गुस्से में थे बट हम उस टाइम पे सर्वे कर रहे थे अच्छा स्कीम्स के लिए सर्वे कर रहे थे क्या प्रीमियम स्कीम अप्लाई करने तो वहाँ पर मैंने बात करने की कोशिश की थी तब आपको को कैसा फील हो रहा है इस चीज को मतलब बहुत नया पर्सपेक्टिव मेरा कि हमारे मन में सिर्फ सवाल ही हम सिर्फ सवाल कर सकते हैं क्योंकि आपको दिख ही रहा है कि वो सिर्फ हमें मार के रखा है पर यदि अगर दिवाली होती या फिर कोई और त्योहार होता तो वहाँ पर लोगों को नहीं बताएगा और ये पहली बार हमारे साथ हो रहा है कि हमें मार के रखाएगा हमारे सिर्फ एक ही त्योहार हो पूरे साल में सिर्फ एक त्योहार हो और वो भी आप अगर मनाने के लिए हमें ऐसा वो फ्रीडम फील नहीं करवा सकते तो हम इंसान ही नहीं कर रहे ऐसा कुछ करके निकल है इसीलिए कभी कभी लगता है कि हम लोग कुछ फ्रीडम चाहते हैं पर दूसरों को फ्रीडम नहीं देना चाहिए
This is certainly true, but the fact that आप उनसे बात कर रहे हैं, आपने छोड़ गए, आप फिर भी वहां पर बात कर रहे थे, वो आपके सिटीजनशिप एक्टिव सिटीजनशिप का एक भाग है हो सकता है हम बहुत सारे एक्शंस ना ले पाए पर ये सेंसिटिविटी रखना और फिर कुछ कोशिश करना ये भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि हम कर सकते और बहुत सारे लोग शायद ये नहीं कर रहे उसके बारे में बोलना उसके बारे में लिखना उसके बारे में चर्चाएं करना ये एक्चुअली संविधान का कॉल है कंसिडरेट होना ये बोलना किसी दोस्त को जो आपके मुसलमान दोस्त हैं उनसे बात करना कि तुमको कैसे फील हो रहा है और मैं हूं, ये भी तुम्हारे संविधान के कॉल की आंसर। क्योंकि कभी कभी हम माहौल में हम अपने ही दोस्तों को भूल जाते हैं, हम भूल जाते हैं कि उनको भी कुछ तो फील हो रहा होगा। तो बात करना, बोलना, अश्योरेंस देना किसी भी तरीके से, राइट, ये सारी चीजें हम कर सकते। और माहौल को क्वेश्चन करना, कौन ये कर रहा है, कैसे हम क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए कभी मोबिलाइज करना।
Hello.
Hello.
Let it be.
I'll create a meanwhile. Hi, sorry, laptop switch off हो गया है, so we are.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, let it be that. Yeah, you're also near.
मैम की आवाज नहीं आएगी, थोड़ा नजदीक रखो फोन, ठीक है?
Okay.
हाँ.
Very odd, but आगे ठीक है। क्या करें, आगे करें। ठीक है, बस।
Yes.
हाँ, एक चीज मुझे भी जोड़नी है कि जब नागरिक के तौर पर हम ये देखते हैं, मतलब हम बात करते हैं इस तरह की कि हम किस तरह की विचारधारा से हैं, किस तरह की हम परिवेश से हैं, स्पेशली क्योंकि इसमें भी जब आप हिंदी वाला वो पढ़े प्रियम्बल, तो उसमें लिखा है अभिव्यक्ति, विचार, धर्म, उपासना की स्वतंत्रता। तो वहां पर कई बार ऐसा भी लगता है कि जब हम अभिव्यक्ति, विचार, विश्वास, धर्म एवं उपासना की स्वतंत्रता कहते हैं, तो हमको ये भी समझना चाहिए कि जरूरी नहीं है कि कोई मानता ही हो, मतलब कोई या तो इस धर्म को माने या इस धर्म को माने। मतलब वहां पे ये भी लिखा है कि आपको, अगर आप किसी को नहीं मानना चाहते हैं तो भी आप मतलब अगर आप नास्तिक रहना चाहें तो भी आप स्वतंत्र। ऐसे ही जो अभिव्यक्ति है, तो अभिव्यक्ति का एक तरीका ये भी होता है कि अगर आप शांत रहना चाहें तो भी वो आपके मतलब शांत। तो ये अलग अलग तरीके के, क्योंकि व्हाट इज हैपेंड, अभी वी सी द वर्ल्ड एज द डाइकोटोमी, या तो आप इस तरफ कटे या इस तरफ, लेकिन हर तरह की जो डाइवर्सिटी है उसको जानना, मानना और अपनाना वो बहुत।
Yeah.
So, just to share something.
Yeah.
So, I remember the 9th class when we looked at the French Revolution and suddenly you realize that God had just distributed equality. So then you go, and I remember I went back to the preamble first page and said, and तब ना चीजें सेंस बनाने लगी, because I too from a Dalit family, तो स्कूल में ना बहुत सारी चीजें होती थी which did not make sense. कि मतलब लोगों का अलग बिहेवियर या स्टूडेंट्स का भी अलग बिहेवियर, कि चीजें कैसे मिल जाती हैं या अराउंड when I read this, I found कि अच्छा ये तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लिखा है, I am making this because it's written in the constitution, it's for me. So I remember telling my friends who were, kept questioning it, ये देखो, ये इसमें equality of status and opportunity, it's not just me, it's written. So I remember using it as a tool, a very powerful tool, and I remember feeling very powerful in the sense that I am here. Education is.
In 9th grade you did that.
Because तब तक ना बहुत सारी चीजें सेंस बनाने लगी थी, क्योंकि
That's
पढ़ रहे थे, तुम रिवॉल्यूशन पढ़ रहे थे, and then you were also being, I was also being questioned कि 11th में कहाँ लोगे, 12th में कहाँ लोगे, हो जाएगा, रिजर्वेशन नहीं हो, तो इक्वली फील होता था, it's not like I was not studying. तो फिर मुझे ढूंढना था कि क्या है ऐसा, क्या है, क्यों है, so then I found this. The first page of the exactly sense बनाने नहीं लिखा हुआ है,
Who did you show it to?
one of my friends.
Really?
Yes.
That's damn interesting. That's actually what we, the People Abhiyan, is trying to do, in terms of really get people to see this, connect with it, and use it as a tool to enable their confidence and also their place in the nation. So, yeah, no, thank you for sharing that, Samvidhan. Anybody else has any thought, any question, anything that doesn't?
The other part of Sonia's question, which was around the nation of feeling secular.
Yeah.
I think वो distinction भी जरूरी है. वो secular जो word है वो nation का future है, right? और हमारे लिए लिखा गया है कि आप जितने free हैं अपनी उपासना और अपनी worship के लिए आप कर सकते. So the citizens are not supposed to be secular. We are free to express and practice whatever we believe in. But the state is supposed to be central. The state cannot be seen as promoting or taking side of or taking or being against of any certain religion. That is also important. और उसको भी secure करना हमारा ही काम. There was a time when there was about to be law for the piano constantly 2 years back. So this is now making me question as to if something like this happens, what can we as citizens do so that it doesn't happen?
I think just to make so there was no formal attempt to drop it.
There was a particular government sign.
Yeah, I think this is still in the matter of people discussing it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think discussion is very valid, right? You should discuss, is this word should be there or not? Should this word be there or not? Why should you not discuss? Right? You should discuss. Because the Constitution is telling us to discuss. Nothing is actually so sacrosanct. This is about a document that we want to have a society that is based on human values. Okay, discuss it. Right? So I think first of all, we should never be afraid of discussion. It means that people are saying what they want. Let it be. That's good. All right. I think the other thing is that, remember, we said that this page represents the Constitution in spirit and in letter. Right? What is the structure and what is its spirit? So our Constitution is secular. I'm just saying that even if one word or the other, like there is no word here, federal. But our Constitution is federal in nature. Tomorrow, if we were to add the word federal here, that would be great. Okay. Now, suppose one word, we say, okay, chalo, इसमें से निकाल, preamble में से निकाल. But वो संविधान से नहीं निकलता है. संविधान हमारा secular है. It has welfare as its core, and therefore we are a socialist state. Because उसका जो value जो carry कर रहा है Constitution, वो justice का value है, economic and social justice. So first of all, I just want to say that let's not get worried about these things. Yes, but we should be worried about. If we see the rights of people being violated, if we find that the state is taking one view for a certain set of people, right? We have to take action. We have to confront. We have to question. And that questioning is done by looking at where it has come in writing. I'm a firm believer that, it's the writing that matters. That's why we have a written constitution. And it's only with writing that we can question also. So yes, if there is, let's say, a bill that comes in, okay, where there is something written down which is certainly going to change the or goes in violation of the Constitution and its principles, we must certainly take it. You know, and that is also us answering the call of the Constitution. But I'm only asking you to keep discussion of every kind is very welcome. You must discuss. I think it's when we say don't discuss where some of the problem starts. Discuss. We'll come up with something, which is why I said, you know, ignoring is a great idea until you have to live with how many billion of people are here in this country. Oh, yeah. And everything that the law comes is going to affect you. So you may not be able to ignore somebody that you don't respect, because at some point it may become law. And that's when you will have to do something. Yeah. But
These words are added late, the two words.
yeah,
We were, from the beginning of it, we were always said socialist, we were always secular,
yeah.
rights, secure.
So I would just say, think of it as a word that sort of a statement that encapsulates the spirit and the structure that the Constitution is giving, but be very vigilant on the Constitution itself, right? The rights given, the welfare principles, those are very, very. Yeah. Anything, Katrina, you have any point? I think we are, where are we? 12. Okay. Let's see if maybe you have something to say. Say a little louder. Say a little. I think that's very much the spirit of what it is. So, yeah, be human. It is about human values and values that are important for us to live together. So be kind, be human. And I think there's no better way to end the session today than what you have said, Katrina. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. I want to bring the session to a close, and thank you for the people who joined us. I'm sorry we've not been able to engage very much, but is there maybe I'm sorry I was not conscious. Is there any point that you want to make in particular? Then please do make it right now. Is there something you want to say? Comment you want to make? Is there something on the chat box? No. Okay. Okay. All right. There is one. Yeah. Let's hear it.
Should I read or would like to?
I think you should read it.
Good afternoon. Does writing really have an effect on the ground? Because I feel that standing up for your rights on the ground is a more practical option.
Absolutely. Standing up on the ground is the only option. Okay. But when you stand on an issue on the ground, having a written document is your biggest tool. Because when you stand there, आप हवा में नहीं बोलोगे. आपके पास अगर, if you have a statement of your rights, you know, you have something that is written that this is how it's supposed to be. There should be no discrimination on the basis of gender, caste, etc. This is written, and that gives you the strength. So there is no alternative to you standing on the ground. Just having something written is not going to get you. That's why it's calling you to take action. So action तो करना ही है. लेकिन जब वो action आप लेते हो, then taking a government order that can support your cause, using the law, which is also written, will support your cause. Taking copies of, fundamental rights and some welfare principles, articles that can support your cause. That's where the writing helps. Okay, so it's only going to help you, but standing on the ground is something that ये बेचारा constitution नहीं कर पाएगा, हमें ही करना पड़ेगा, है ना? But thank you for pointing that out. I didn't mean it that writing is the only thing that matters. It matters to activists and not just to active citizens also. It matters that you have this in right. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Okay. So we'll bring this to a close here now. Thank you so much. And thank you all here and also online. Great. Oh, there's a hand up. Is there a hand up? I can see Shilpa.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Shilpa, please.
Yeah, I'm audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, no, ma'am, thank you so much for joining this session. After listening to you, I was barely listening to others because they are sitting over there and we were trying to listen to them also. But we would like to have you in person also in some of the other way, not maybe in Mumbai but somewhere else. And I will request to have to start small segments of the preamble of this thing because it's very vast. It's not like that which we were told in our schools by the teachers and professors. It's very vast. Its meaning is very deep, and to relate to our this thing day-to-day life, and actually for living it, one has to understand its core. So I think you should continue this movement. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We'll